Whatever Sam does is all right with him. He's always willing to listen to what Sam has to say. But there are many questions Sam wants to ask. Many incidents of the day he wants to share with his parents.
And then they know where to go, and it's all done by code. Did you know that, Pop?
Everybody knows that, son.
Did you know that, Ma'am?
Yes, dear. Oh, by the way, I wonder if we could go up and see old lady.
Sam's parents sometimes think he talks too much. They don't realize that their son wants to practice his conversational ability on them. Someday, when he is sure of himself, outside, they may have difficulty in finding out what his thoughts are. On the other hand, Tom, who talked so much about his father's achievements, seems most unappreciative of them at home. And he seems to have no ambition. Sometimes his father wonders if he's all right mentally. He is, but early teens are years of uneven development. There are spurts of mental energy as well as physical, and at other times, nothing seems to be happening. In reality, just as Tom's body needs rest after strenuous exercise, so his mind needs time to adjust to its new learning. And Bill's home life?
Where have you been all afternoon? Your father wanted you to cut the grass, and I had some errands I wanted you to do. Now get busy or he'll be annoyed.
So what?
Bill may be willing to cut the grass sometimes when he feels like it, but rules and jobs laid down too firmly by the top brass make him resentful. Bill is at that stage just before puberty, when children seem to go into reverse. Psychologists call it a negative phase.
Bill, do you mean to say you haven't finished that lawn yet?
I don't notice you cutting any grass.
Now, look here, young man. I'm not going to stand that kind of back talk. You're a member of this family, and you're going to act like one. Now, you finish that lawn before supper, or else.
Too strict an attitude by parents seems only to result in more resistance. Bill doesn't seem to find companionship at home or enough satisfaction from hanging around with his old friends. Subconsciously, he is looking for acceptance and help with his problems. Luckily, he finds a friend, older than himself, but a real guy. Bill likes to hang around the gas station, helping Joe Connor, who runs it. Joe finds the boy a thorough worker, and they have lots to talk about. Local gossip, sports, cars, even the news of the day. Bill feels that Joe treats him in a more grown-up way than his parents. He finds it easier to confide in Joe, and he gets a lot off his chest as they chat. Sometimes young adolescents appear to enjoy utter uselessness. But this boundless energy can be directed into useful channels. Sam and Tom belong to the Boy Scouts. Like most teenagers, they enjoy constructive activity and a planned group project. It can be any community group, but organization is needed to ensure that there'll be enough boys there to carry out the program successfully. While they still need adult guidance, during these years, the quality of leadership becomes established. To be aggressive and bossy is no longer enough for the leader as it was in childhood. He must have skill in both physical and mental activities. He's usually slightly bigger or stronger than the average and has a friendly attitude, an outgoing personality. The leader among adolescents is likely to remain a leader through later life. As they move out of the sphere of home influence into the community, young teenagers feel the need of their own kind. They begin to patronize hangouts. Because girls are physically more mature than boys of the same age, most of the advances in the early teen years are made by the girls. Their efforts are crude and childish, but they're the beginnings of experiment in sex adjustment. This kind of performance often shocks parents. The boys really do feel superior to those silly girls, but while they pretend to scorn their attention, they're secretly flattered. Nothing would make them admit this, though. Subconsciously, it takes the form of showing off to attract more of the girls' attention. Kay and Sally didn't get far with the boys, but they found a substitute. Identifying themselves with a glamorous movie actress who is very popular with men gives them a satisfaction they couldn't get any other way. What about Joan? Doesn't she care for any activity or feel a need to admire and love someone? She does, but she has her own quiet way of working it out. She likes to cook all by herself without direction from mother or the confusion of family meals. Tonight, she's making candy. It'll be a present for her music teacher, whom she's adored for a long time without telling anybody. So, 6 typical young teenagers have spent a Friday afternoon and evening. All of them seem to have problems that worry either them or their parents.
For goodness sake, Sam, go to bed. It's late.
Okay.
All of them experienced some parental friction. All want independence. All of them feel some stirrings of interest in sex, either openly or secretly. All of them are trying in their own way to adjust to a new set of circumstances and relationships. Tom's parents recognize this. They're willing to help in the making of these adjustments. As well as showing his interest, Tom's father respects him as a person.
Did you have a good meeting tonight?
Oh, it was okay, but half the fellas didn't show up.
Oh? Maybe there was something else going on.
Nah, they had dates. Seems like the fellas are always going out on dates now. They never...
He doesn't pry into Tom's affairs. The way is left open for discussion. He tries to be helpful. Contrast the attitude of Bill's father.
Bill, stop that racket, will you?
In a minute.
In a minute, nothing. Right now. I'm trying to listen to the radio. Oh, putting that darn thing up. No, stop it. Did you hear me?
By refusing to recognize his son as an individual with rights and wishes of his own, Bill's father not only fails to get the cooperation he demands, but actually widens the gap between himself and Bill. On the other hand, Tom's parents try to handle the problems of growing up in a constructive way. They gradually increase his independence, at the same time encouraging him to accept responsibility for what he does. Therefore, Tom doesn't have to rebel. The stricter discipline of childhood has given place to friendly guidance for the in-between years. Of course, having understanding parents doesn't eliminate all the problems, but it goes a long way towards lessening the tensions that give to early adolescence its name, the age of turmoil.